Now, for my next speaker, I would actually like to introduce our host, the guy who runs the Rock the Vote bus tour here, Mr. James Granger.
Thanks a lot for all you guys coming out here today. I have to say, this is the best turnout we've had, you say? This is the best turnout we have had for the entire Rock the Vote tour. Let's hear it for Madison, Wisconsin. You guys been watching the political debates? Now, be honest with this question. How many people here think that the politicians are speaking to them in those debates? Anyone? That's sad, isn't it? Now, don't worry, it's not your fault. It's sad because it's true. Because as a voting bloc, as a demographic, young people are the most unreliable and unknown demographic out there. If I'm a politician and I have limited time and money to spend on my campaign, I'm going to go to people who I know are going to vote for me. I'm going to go to people who I know are going to turn out. By the mere fact that we've just turned 18, that we've just gotten the right to vote, that we haven't had a chance to vote in the last elections, already puts us at a disadvantage. It already says to the politicians, you know nothing about these people, you don't know where they stand, and you don't know if they're going to turn out and vote. So what do the politicians do? They glance over us. They look the other way. They talk to old people, middle-aged people, working people. They talk to people who have voting records, who have voting histories, people who they know are going to turn out. And because the politicians don't pay attention to us, what do? We go watch TV. We go do something else. We go do something that actually entertains us. Now, it's not our fault. It's just by mere nature of the way that things are set up. They don't know who we're going to vote for. They don't know if we're going to vote. They don't pay attention to us. They don't pay attention to us. We don't vote. But what happens then? College debt, college loans are on the rise. People are graduating more and more in debt each year. The cost of education is rising, and politicians are doing nothing to stop it. Woo! There is a gap in healthcare when young people are twice as likely as the national average to not have healthcare. And what are the politicians doing about that? Nothing. We need to make them pay attention to us. Because once we make them pay attention to us, that's when they'll start addressing those issues. So let me hear it. How many people here are going to vote? You hear that voice? That is the voice of your generation speaking. And once we all speak together, speak loud, it doesn't matter who you vote for. It matters that you vote. It matters that we're out there at the polls. It matters that we're out there at the debates. It matters that we're out there at the protests. We're out there and we're visible. You are here today, and that's one step closer than we've ever been before. So when we all vote, we become the swing voters. We determine the election. We can turn it one way or another because there are over 20 million of us that can turn it to those polls. So I want everybody here, if you're not registered, get registered. If you are registered, make sure you vote. Know where your polling place is. Know how to get to your poll. Know how to use the voting machine. And most importantly, know your rights once you get there. If someone says you're not registered to vote, you say, I can still fill out a provisional ballot. If someone accuses you of being a felon or something that you're not, and saying you can't vote because of that, make them check the records. Get out there, vote, and make sure your voice is heard. Because once your voice is heard, then the politicians will pay attention to us and they'll address the issues that affect us. Thank you. Now also, coming up speaking on behalf